Am I the idiot for favoring my stepson? I have 2 kids, Stefan, male 17, and Angie, female 19, and my husband has a son, Dean, 17M. Stefan and Dean are very close and have been the best of friends since before my husband and I got married. Angie is pretty close to both as well, but her and Dean butt heads pretty often. Anyways, while my husband and I were in our bedroom, we heard yelling from the living room. We ran down and found all 3 kids yelling at each other. We managed to get them to relax, but they refused to tell us what happened. Later, Stefan told me that Dean joked about Angie's BF. Is he finally leaving you? And she retaliated by bringing up Dean's mother. She said something along the lines of, yeah, he's leaving me just like you are, mother, brother and sisters left you our ass. I confirmed with Angie and Dean, and while my husband and I are honestly really upset. You see, Dean's mother and siblings didn't leave, they passed away. While Dean was in the wrong as well, I'm kind of horrified by my daughter immediately jumping to his deceased family. Because of this, I told Angie that I wanted her to sign up for this volunteer thing at a local bakery that is honoring the lives of the deceased. It's being run by a very close friend of mine and is hard work, but you learn a lot about grieving and the sort. I signed up for a week, and it was very memorable. I told her it was either this or she wouldn't be able to use my car anymore, so she chose the bakery. I'm also not buying her tickets to see some artists, but I'm willing to buy them if she apologizes. Dean was lectured by his father and has to do a few extra chores. Well, after about 2 days of volunteering, Angie started complaining that I was favoring Dean, my stepson, over her, my biological daughter. She doesn't see why Dean can disrespect her first, but she can't say anything back. She also said that her BF is a sensitive topic and that I don't get to decide which situation is worse. My mother backed her up on this and says I'm in the wrong here too. Both her and my daughter say that I should have insisted on a harsher punishment for Dean, and that again, it's very insensitive of me to decide that a certain situation is worse. I see what they mean, but I don't know. Maybe I am being insensitive towards her, and maybe I am being too harsh. I just think that my daughter could have said literally anything else instead. Am I the idiot? Edit. I've been getting the same comments about the same things, so I'm editing some extra info. 1. Stefan came up to me and told me what happened without anyone asking. It is very important that we're aware of any possible reactions that Dean has towards the mention of his mother and siblings for multiple reasons. 2. Dean and Angie do get along. They banter back and forth and argue over petty things. Where do you put my hairbrush / I want the car on Sunday / etc. But are close. This is the first time they've gone too far. No one is bullying anyone. 3. They've been living together since they were 9 and 10 and think of each other as siblings. Dean calls me mom and Angie calls my husband dad. Even after this fight, they refer to each other as brother / sister. 4. Angie and her BF are still together and are in a good place from what I know. Her BF was over last night, and the two have been together since they were 16. 5. Dean's extra chores are for 2 weeks and Angie is volunteering for a week and a half. Now for comments before the update. Not the idiot. You have reacted equally to the words and actions of Angie and Dean. Dean shouldn't have said what he did and was punished for it. Angie's response was horrifically cruel. The topic of Dean's deceased family never, ever should have passed her lips. She really messed up and was punished accordingly. You responded to the level of pain inflicted. You're the idiot. While your daughter might have gone for blood, it's clear that he has been needling her repeatedly over a longer period on something he knew was a sore subject. Her snapping is his own damn fault. Update. Anyways, I mentioned this in a comment, but I went out to eat with my daughter the day after I made the post. Because many people brought it up, I asked her if Dean is bullying her. She asked me if I was being serious. I told her that she's my daughter and I will always have her back, and if he was bullying her then I wouldn't hesitate to do something about it. She reassured me and said that he is not bullying her. The only reason she made that comment is because she's fighting with one of her friends and took her anger out on Dean. She also said that she was ashamed and couldn't believe she said such a cruel thing considering she knows how much it affects him. She tried convincing herself that she was right and used my mother, who has always been against my marriage, to put her to ease. I told her that while I was disappointed, I'm glad that she's owning up. She then told me that she apologized to Dean and is taking him and Stefan to see a game. They're also going to get dinner. Dean apologized to her as well. I talked to Dean a few hours after the three got home from their outing. I'm not going to say much about this convo, but it was emotional and we were both in tears. Just in case, I spent some one-on-one time with Stefan as well. He's been stressed because the two people he loves the most weren't talking to each other, and he didn't want to choose between them. Overall, I think everything was settled quite nicely. Angie's last day of volunteering is tomorrow, and she seems pretty sad about it. She's become pretty close to the ladies at the bakery. On a brighter note, she finally knows what she wants to do in life and will be working with the bakery owner. She's also looking up apprenticeships and the sort. Hopefully she sticks to it. Thanks for all the comments. Awesome update. I hope your daughter has found her passion. Maybe someday we'll see her in a baking competition on Netflix. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for eating too many cucumbers? This is perhaps the most bizarre "Am I the idiot" post I have ever written, but I'm honestly so confused. I feel like I can't possibly be a TA. But then sometimes people are too blind to see their own flaws, so maybe I really am. For as long as I can remember, I've had this quirk. I guess you could call that I never snack on anything other than cucumber. I shouldn't say never technically, since socially I'll get ice cream or eat a few chips at a party. I'm not a picky eater by any means, but my snack of choice has always been cucumbers. I eat pretty healthily anyways, so a lot of fruits and veggies are a part of my diet. Since veggies are lower in calories, I have to eat a lot of them to eat enough. So I'll usually have some sliced cucumber in my purse that I munch on throughout the day, and I'll always have a cucumber in my car that I just eat whole when I'm driving. I go through several cucumbers daily. Although it's not healthy, I've had days where I've felt really depressed and overwhelmed and have binge-eaten nothing but cucumber. I think I've eaten perhaps 35 on very extreme days. Recently this quirk has begun to drive my female 22 BF, male 33, of 6 months insane. His words, not mine. He says it's highly inappropriate to carry them everywhere with me. We spent last weekend at his parents' lake house and I provided my own cucumber to snack on. One night before bed I was in my room knowing a cucumber was like a savage when his mother walked in. Under normal circumstances I never would eat that around others, I'd slice it up. She was puzzled, but chuckled and said, "Ma, you do like cucumber." My boyfriend later told me that I humiliated him with my childish and immature eating habits. I told him that his mom caught me in a low moment. He was being ridiculous, since he eats a bag of chips every day and I don't bat an eye. He told me that chips were a normal snack and whole cucumbers were deranged. He told me I needed to stop eating cucumbers and that my behavior was becoming a deal breaker for him. I feel really bothered, but I think cucumbers are a weird hill to die and I don't want to lose my relationship. So am I the idiot? Edit. I'd just like to add that my boyfriend has never expressed any issue with my cucumber habits before now. The incident in question was because around 8 p.m. I was getting really hungry and I don't know his family super well, so I didn't want to go rummaging / ask for a snack, and I didn't want to bother them by asking for a cutting board or something to cut up my cucumber because of, well, mild social anxiety. So I shoved myself in the guest room and figured I'd just snack on a cucumber quickly. I don't usually go hide and eat cucumbers, haha. But then his mom walked in looking for my BF presumably and was a little surprised but seemed amused and not upset or anything. I honestly didn't think it had turned into such a big deal for him. Now for comments before the update. No idiots here. Your boyfriend is right and this is weird, but I'm hesitant to call you an idiot because it sounds like disordered eating. If you want to compare them to your boyfriend's chips, how does the sentence "I ate 35 bags of chips on extreme days" sound to you? Not the idiot. Cucumbers are delicious, they're healthy and they hydrate. If they also calm you down a little on a bad day, even better. Your BF is the weird one for even making this a thing. I'm sure there are plenty of guys out there who either don't care, or think it's funny or cute. Update. To those of you who expressed concern for my cucumber addiction / that I have an ED, I can assure you I am perfectly healthy. I wouldn't consider myself addicted, nor do I have an ED at all. I just really enjoy my cucumbers. I can go days without eating them. I don't need my cucumber fix. It's just if I'm going to snack, I prefer to eat a cuke. I would consider the amount I snack on cucumbers proportional to the amount my BF or any normal person would snack on chips or other junk food. I just occasionally eat more since they're so low in calories. Additionally, I have had a few cucumber binges. I am well aware that those are not healthy, just like binging on junk food isn't healthy. But that's extremely uncommon for me, and for the most part one eat a well-balanced healthy diet. However, I will talk to my doctor about it to ensure that it is not worrying. As for my boyfriend, we ended up calling it quits. I was pretty hurt at first, but I think perhaps his huge reaction to cucumbers was indeed a red flag for controlling behavior. I think that he was trying to call my bluff, expecting me to give up my cukes for him, so the breakup took him a bit by surprise too. How it went down was that I told him we needed to have a chat. I told him that it was unacceptable to tell me what I was allowed to eat. I added that if listening to me chow down on cucumbers was what bothered him, as some of you in the comments noted, I would avoid eating them when he was around. Apparently, the very idea of me eating so many cucumbers was driving him nuts, not the noise. I decided to try and compromise. He's a pretty heavy drinker and will get drunk pretty often. I know that it's very bad for his health, and I have expressed that concern in the past. I told him that I'd give up cucumbers if he gave up alcohol. He declined my offer, threw out a few uncreative insults and expletives, and I am now writing this from my mom's couch with a cucumber in my hand and a cucumber in my heart. Love. I'm still unclear on why the cucumbers were such an issue, why I could never eat them again, why me suggesting he give up alcohol was such a big deal, among other things. But I guess I'll never know now. nta.myx, and I had a huge age gap, and he would become fixated on random harmless quirks of mine and force me to change them. Don't date grumpy old men. They always want you to change to suit them, not the idiot. I just wanted to say reading your post made me smile because it made me think of my 3-year-old. She's big enough to reach onto the counters and in the fridge, so seeing her wander in with a random vegetable eating hole isn't uncommon. Just last week it was this U-shaped cucumber from her grandma's garden. She even eats peppers like a hand fruit. So if there's something wrong with what you're doing, I certainly don't want to know what's right. Now for the next story. Am I the idiot for backing out as the wedding band? My brother Max is 32, I am male 22, and have a different mom, so Max and I weren't always close. But we're close through music, which helped us bond a little more after our granddad's unfortunate death. Max used to play in a band but hasn't for the last 5 years because of his job hours. He taught me a lot about guitar and singing. Max is getting married this summer to Joan, female 29. Due to COVID they're keeping it small. They don't want to delay the wedding again because Joan's dad is ill, so time is a factor. Needless to say, she's been very involved in the wedding details so as to assure her dad's safety. Since money needs to be saved, Max asked if I knew enough people to form a band to perform the important songs at the reception. I so happen to be starting a band with my boyfriend and friends, so I told him that SGT Pepper's Lonely Hearts will be playing his wedding. So long as it didn't affect my wedding party duties, it wouldn't be a problem. Except Joan's obsession with the nitty-gritty wedding details has driven us up the wall. She's demanded that the band wear matching suits, Max is paying for them, and has even said that we have to go by a more wedding-appropriate band name, which makes me want to puke. SGT Lovers Sweethearts. I'd say she's gone full Bridezilla. Per her request, we recorded ourselves performing the songs for the wedding. We've been practicing a lot and we're proud of our performance, but she emailed back after watching the entire thing and eviscerated every little detail. From how my notes were slightly flat at times, our instruments don't match, the drums were too loud, and just so much crap that we can't control. I admit that I lost my temper, calling her a spoiled bridezilla, so obsessed with her perfect white wedding day that she tore apart our rehearsal recorded just for her because it wasn't perfect enough. And her demands are insane. She said she wants us to email her a new video every week until we get better. I told her that she is making impossible demands of us, so we were backing out. She immediately called me up to screech at me for ruining it, and how could I do this when she's under enough stress because of her dad? I told her to be more reasonable, and until then my band won't be doing it. Then she said that I'm uninvited, hung up and blocked me. I called Max as soon as I got off the phone with her and told him what she did. He assured me that he was not going to let her kick me out of the wedding and he would talk to her as soon as he got home. Joan got her bridesmaids to harass me for putting her through undue stress. The wedding is in June and they act as if there isn't any time left to find another wedding band. Max is trying very hard to calm down the situation, but Joan doesn't want to talk to him right now because he defended me against his future wife, which is an unforgivable sin. I'm willing to agree to play again if she apologizes, but that doesn't seem likely. Am I the idiot? Now for comments before the update. Not the idiot. Tell her. You have overreaching concerns about my band's name, appearance, and music. I see no reason for you to let us play at your wedding. I'm sure you'll find a band that better meets all of your requirements. Not the idiot. It's understandable that she's stressed with all that's going on, but that doesn't make it okay to treat you, or others in general, like absolute sh*t. She's acting very entitled considering you and your band are performing as, most likely, an unpaid favor. Good luck with this situation. I hope it doesn't cause friction between you and your brother. Update. A few days after the fight, Joan and Max called me on speakerphone and Joan 100% owned up to her actions and apologized, especially for basically sicking her bridesmaids on me. They invited me to dinner at their place tonight, and I accepted. Joan and Max both sat down with me to elaborate on why they invited me. Joan was a little emotional, she was under stress and as a result hadn't properly slept in quite a while. When she and Max began talking about the incident after it happened, it resulted in their discovering that Joan is pregnant. This helped put things in perspective, and now I'm happy to report that my band is playing the wedding again. Joan also put in her notice at work since that caused her significant stress, and the difference in her is practically night and day. Max and Joan will be getting married at the courthouse before the actual wedding, with just parents in attendance so Joan's dad can be there safely. Needless to say, I'm very happy and I can't wait to be an uncle. This had such a happy ending that I couldn't help but share it. Not the idiot. This is a great update. I love that everyone came out if it happier per Joan. I had a job that I hated and stressed me out. It turned me into this psycho witch from hell and I had no idea. I'm sorry you had to get the rough end of her rage, but believe me, she probably didn't have any idea at all.